Coach, why don't you just tell me your comments? What do you think about what Freddie Kitchens did?
Okay, in fairness to Freddie, I'll say that the T-shirt didn't make any plays on the field.
Nope.
It had no effect there. But all they've been trying to do is avoid distractions. All they've been trying, or supposedly that's been the emphasis in the building, is how are we going to take it away from all the individuals, all the off-the-field distractions, the media, the reacting to the media, and do all those things. How are we going to do that and just focus on football? And then to go and wear that T-shirt out on a Friday night in Cleveland. Look, Cleveland's not a big time. It's a small, big city, and people are going to know who the head coach of the football team is, and they're going to know what you're wearing, and they're going to put that out there. So you pretty much know when you put it on that it's going to get out there. And maybe he thought that this would be a positive for his group. Maybe he was saying, hey, I'm all in. I'm with you guys. I had read somewhere that one of the assistant coaches prior to the game told someone in the media, this has been a rivalry, and now the rivalry is over, and we're taking control of the division. So it's all that talking before the game. It's all that other stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't help. It's not positive. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why you do it. I don't know what the value is.
It's false bravado. And, for a rivalry to take place, you got to actually win some games first, right? And you have to take something from them. I always thought it was a joke when people would say the Jets and the Patriots was a rivalry. I'm like, they always beat us. How is it a rivalry? The first time when we beat them in the playoffs, that was the first time we took something that they cared about. I mean, I think that Cleveland's under this false impression that, they're the big dogs on the block, that because last year they finished strong, they haven't won anything. This is a front-running football team that as soon as they get punched in the mouth, face adversity, they fold up. And it's reflected in the head coach not taking accountability and understanding that you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And we saw this a little bit with Matt Patricia when he wore the Goodell clown shirt. It almost cost him an opportunity to get a head coaching job.
And at least with that, just quickly, with Patricia, not that I'm trying to make excuses, he did it as a coordinator, not as a coach, and departing the plane having won the Super Bowl, not the day before. You know what I mean? Like,
a rivalry game, a must-win game.
Right. It's the end of the year. You have won your championship, and he wore a knucklehead shirt. It's very different than in this. And by the way, if he had worn a Pittsburgh suck shirt, right, it would still be, I think, poor form for a head coach. But it's also minimizing to me. One of your guys did something that, even if he wasn't the initial instigator, resulted in the longest on-field suspension in the history of the sport. And you are 2 weeks later saying, it wasn't my guy's fault. And so I get your point that maybe he was trying to show the team, I'm put my arms around
Zero
him.
accountability, Nick. It's what you've been preaching.
And then see Baker's zero accountability after the game.
And it's the lack of accountability is ridiculous. And I want to ask you this question, because I feel like Freddie Kitchens doesn't understand or grasp all of the things that go with being the face of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, which is what all 32 head coaches are. Quarterbacks also to a degree, so maybe co-faces of it. And I'm just curious, when you first got your first head coaching job with the Jets, yeah, there's a lot of things you've talked to us about that are different than being coordinator. You have to set the meetings. You have to set, everything is your decision. But also the other elements of, I would imagine, like how you represent yourself is so much more important than it was when you were a coordinator, and I don't think he grasps that yet, if that's fair.
The only thing I'll say is, let's say the Browns won yesterday. Would we be sitting here saying, wow, look at how much faith he has in his team, look at how relatable a guy he is, this is why the team's responding to him? Usually what happens is whoever wins and whoever loses, then the things that are related to him are treated so much more harshly, or are not treated as harshly as they should have. Would we be having this discussion if they had won, or would the narrative be he's really found a way to tap into this team's young energy? He's really found a way to relate to his players. And that's the thing that can be a little bit unfair in these discussions, is because of the outcome.
Results-based analysis.
Yeah, suddenly we change dramatically.
Except this was the
bad taste.
He's the only coach in the league I could see doing this.
Right. Because
that's the other thing, is it would never, if you'd have told me the Chiefs and Raiders got in a brawl earlier this year, and Andy Reid, no, come on.
And this is the thing, right? We had the rivalry with Pittsburgh, and Terrell Suggs made the Pittsburgh shirt, and he had the bird, the Raven bird, flipping the bird.
Yep.
And I never saw Harbaugh ask for one. I never heard Billick ask for one, because they knew that's in bad judgment. If you guys want to do that, that's on you guys. But I'm not going to do that, because I understand my position. I understand that I'm the face, the representative, the CEO of this company.
And your point, Jen, about the lack of accountability for the team, we're all parents. And we all probably, in our day-to-day life, tell little white lies like everyone does. Some people more often than others. I don't know about you guys. I try not to do that in front of my kids, because if your kids, even if they don't recognize it, see you doing it, you know what I mean, telling someone, wait, that's not what you were doing last night, Daddy, then they somehow internalize, well, it's okay for me to tell these little white lies myself. If you're the coach and you are the one that is setting the template for everything, you are letting your team know this type of, whether you want to call it irresponsibility or just knucklehead quotient, however it is, even though I agree, it had nothing to do with their loss, because Pittsburgh was peak motivation anyway, you are setting the rules of engagement for your team, and they play as such.
And you really want to go out of your way to not make the game ever about you as a head coach. You want to make it about your players. You want to make it about the opponent. You want to set that example. And look, you go out on a Friday night, and I get it. His daughters liked the T-shirt and gave it to him as a gift. But you know you're going to be seen, and you know that someone's going to take a picture, and you know this is going to get out there. You can't. It's not like you're going to be under the radar as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns going out the Friday night before the Pittsburgh game. Someone's going to see you, so it does become a conscious decision.
And you know your jacket has a zipper.
Right,
Look,
zip it up.
The worst part about all this is that the team was actually in a position where they could have done some good. They had won 3 games in a row. Baker Mayfield has seemingly turned his play around. And they had a lead early on in the game, and it all combusted. You said it earlier on. They don't know how to lose, and they don't know how to win. They don't know how to hold on to a lead either. And it's just been very consistent throughout the whole season for this team. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.